can I beat Elden Ring in my attic? Now, to figure out the answer to my question, the first thing I would have to do is figure out how to get this up there. And I figured I'd refuel first, considering what I was about to try and do. Then it was off to get the ladder from the garage. I brought it all the way upstairs and got ready to have my first peek into the attic. Oh my god. I immediately noticed three things. That it was really dark, that it was really hot, and it's really loud up here. There was a light up there, but we weren't going to be allowed to use that during the challenge. One thing I was worried about from the beginning is the bugs. After I saw this entire graveyard of wasps, I wasn't looking forward to the rest of the night. I tried to just take a breath, forget about the bugs for a second, and focus on bringing everything up. I started with the most important part, my PC, and then I brought up my monitor, and then all the other stuff like my headphones, my keyboard, and then I finished by bringing up a broom so I could sweep up all those bugs that were on the floor. One tiny thing I forgot to mention earlier is I am absolutely terrified of bugs, more specifically spiders. So as you can imagine, I was thrilled to see what would show up throughout the night. Since I was already profusely sweating and it had only been about 10 minutes, I had to find some way to keep myself cool for the 12 hours I was going to be up there. So, much better. Then I ran my 20-foot extension cord all the way up here so I could plug everything in. My sister also brought me a popsicle that I was having a very nice time eating while I was setting everything up. By the time I was finished, I still had over an hour left, and I think this is a good time to explain the rules of this challenge we're about to try and do. Rule number 1. We cannot leave the attic for anything until the game is beaten. This includes food, drink, and going to the bathroom. Rule number 2. The attic light must stay off at all times, no matter what. We do have a flashlight, but that's the only light that we're going to be allowed to use. Rule number 3, we cannot use any game-breaking glitches that will help us get ahead in the game or beat the game quicker. That would be considered cheating. And the final rule that makes this challenge even more challenging, we must beat the game in between the time frame of sunset, which is at about 8:30, to sunrise, which is at about 5:30. So that gives us 9 hours to try and beat the game. And believe it or not, this is actually my second time trying to do this. The first time, my footage ended up being corrupted. But it's okay because this time I am way more prepared, and if you see a couple things that I have up here that I didn't in the intro, then that's why. But okay, I start off by choosing the warrior class because it has a lot of dexterity, which will scale well with the weapons I'll be using. I name myself Attic Gremlin, choose Golden Seed as my keepsake, and then off we go. I sped through the beginning of the game as quickly as possible until I got to the part where Melina gives you Torrent. From there, I rode Torrent down the path to the Weeping Peninsula. My first stop would be at Impaler Catacombs, where I gathered Grave Glovewort 1 and 2, which will be used later to upgrade my summons. After that, I stopped by 2 churches, one of which we would be using as a farming spot for the weapon we're using for the rest of the game. After farming the skeleton for only about a minute, I was able to get one of the bandits' curved swords, which we will be dual wielding in our build. It only took me about 2 more minutes to get the second one, and after that, we were perfectly on track for making this build possible. After running around for a while getting a few more necessary items, and of course, killing the giant dragon in Caelid for all of his runes, which gave me about 20 levels, I headed on over to Margit for my first boss fight. Now my strategy for this fight was pretty much to let Rajir completely distract him, while I try and hit him from behind and make him bleed as much as possible with my jump attacks. And this was working really well until... But don't worry, the next attempt I was able to get a really good bleed proc on him, and of course, Rajir came in clutch and was able to finish him off. Damn, get him, Rajir. Get him, Rajir. Now, we haven't come across any bugs yet, but this was about the time where I started getting really paranoid. I started picturing that giant spider from Harry Potter just sitting behind me in the darkness. I made my way through Stormvale Castle pretty easily after that. I was able to pick up the Claw Talisman, which is going to help us a lot since we're mainly doing jump attacks. But then it wasn't long before I was knocking at Godrick's door, ready to try and take on my second boss. I was trying to use a similar strategy I was using with Rajir with Nefeli, since I hadn't even gotten the summoning bell yet. But he did end up pulling off a pretty nasty finisher on her, and then I was stuck trying to do the rest of the fight by myself. Oh my god. But even after that, the rest of the fight was going pretty smoothly until I started panicking a little bit at the end. Bob, oh my. That was so stressful. That was so stressful. Oh my goodness. You know what? We're taking a small break because I get a chewy. I just beat Godrick. I get a chewy. I'm not showing too much of these boss fights right now just because while being pretty annoying, they're not too much of a challenge for me. That being said, the next boss I was going to have to fight would be Radahn. And knowing my history with Radahn, this was not going to be very easy. I did want to take a second and stop by the Rose Church so I could talk to White Mask Vare. My plan was to talk to him and quickly do his side quest to get into the Mogwyn Palace area so I could set up a rune farm. The only issue is that I would have to invade 5 players to actually complete this side quest, so I was just going to start putting them down wherever I was going. Before I fought Radahn, I wanted to head to the Raya Lucaria Crystal Tunnel so I could get the first bell bearing for the smithing stones. As soon as I got in the tunnel, I slapped down my bloody finger so that I could try and invade somebody that might be in the tunnel, and lucky for us, we actually got an invasion. I went in and just jumped off the elevator because I just needed to use up the finger. I didn't have to actually kill him or anything. And then I went on my way through the tunnel, picking up all the smithing stones that these guys were mining until I eventually got to the Crystallian boss. Honestly, this boss was a lot more annoying than I had intended it to be. Even after I broke her stance, she still wasn't taking very much damage from my jump attacks. Luckily, I was able to stagger her a lot and eventually finish the fight with 1 potion remaining. After upgrading both of my weapons to +4 and then activating the Grand Lift of Dectus, I decided to get the second bell bearing already since I was already in the Atlas Plateau. Leave me alone. Holy shit, dude. But without further ado, it's time for our first attempt at Radahn. The fight starts off, and as usual, I immediately summon in as many NPCs as I can find while also dodging his attacks. I'm doing so pretty successfully until I get on Torrent and he gets 1 shot off on me, doing about 1/3 of my health. I go to summon the Finger Maiden and... Okay, and we died because Radahn hit me through the weapon, which he's not supposed to be able to do. He's not supposed to be able to do that. He is not supposed to be able to do that. Yeah, I was a little bit peeved to say the least. But then, of course, we go back in and we do everything again without getting hit this time. And we kind of just run around on our horse for a while. It's pretty boring until I decide to hop off my horse and get into the action. I was trying my best to dodge him despite not really knowing how. And my end goal was to just get 1 bleed proc on him and then run. Radahn is crazy. Oh my god. I made him bleed. Okay, he can do that. From there, I just ran around on my horse trying to avoid all of his attacks and let my NPCs do as much damage to him as possible. Once he initiated his second phase, it was a lot harder to dodge him, but I was trying to keep my distance because I didn't want to mess anything up. Oh my god! What just happened? No, dude! After dying for the second time and barely getting him below half, I realized this was going to be a lot harder than I initially thought. I died over. Yikes! And over and over and over again. And by this point, I was going a little bit insane. Not this again! Not this again! I can't do this again! I can't do this again! At this point, I was fully ready to just let my NPCs kill him while I stay back and try and take as little damage as possible. So that is exactly what I did. I ran around for a 12-minute boss fight, letting my NPCs slowly take down his health until eventually he died. We got it in the bag, in the bag. Let's go, let's go, let's go. I didn't do anything, but I didn't have to do anything. After that, we were sitting pretty. We could put a few more levels into ourselves. I could go to Nokram and get the Great Shield Soldier Ashes. And then I could go to the Round Table, upgrade the Great Shield Soldier Ashes, and upgrade my weapons. And not only that, I could go to the Finger Lady at the Round Table and get the 3rd Talisman Pouch. Now that we have the 3rd Talisman Pouch, we took a trip to Stillwater Cave, where I killed a Clean Rot Knight who was pretty easy, especially with my Great Shield Soldier Ashes, and picked up the Winged Sword Insignia Talisman, which increases our damage after successive attacks. Now, considering all that we do is successive attacks when we jump, this is going to be extremely helpful. Now, wasting no time, since we still had 9 bosses left and only 6 hours left to kill them, we went to take a visit to good old DTS. I didn't anticipate this fight being too hard, considering I actually knew how to dodge him, unlike Radahn, so I just went straight in and was hoping I could beat him on the first try. Oh my god. Oh my god. Lovely, lovely, lovely time. I'm going insane. Needless to say, that did not work. On my second attempt, I was able to get him a little bit lower, but I still did end up dying. On my third attempt, I got him even lower, and I still died. Now, my fourth attempt was the worst attempt of all, because if you can see his health, and I still died, ooh, that one hurt us. And after that attempt, I'm not gonna lie to you, wasn't looking too hot for us. We were just dying over and over again. But after a while, I started to notice something. If you look at each of these clips, how many potions do I have left? 7, 8. I have almost all of my potions, and I was barely using any of them. Now that I realized what my issue was, I went back in again, and this time I was focusing way more on dodging his attacks instead of just trying to get as many attacks off on him as I could. Since I didn't have very much health, I died in like 2 hits from him, so I had to be very sparing with when I got hit. I had the Tragoth and my Ashes, so I shouldn't have really been struggling that much on this fight since I had all these distractions to keep him off of me. I just needed to relax and focus so I could move on since I was running out of time. After that, I was not playing around anymore. I immediately went to the Subterranean Shunning-Grounds to try and get the last talisman that I needed. And this was also the point where my friend Luke joined me in the call to give me some moral support.
Hello?
Luke! Oh my god, hi. Then I spent my time tracking down Esgar and killing him for the Lord of Blood's Exaltation, which gives us 20% boosted damage when there is a bleed proc in the area. Since I was taking so much damage in the last fight, I decided to spend some of my extra runes on Radahn's gauntlets and greaves to try and get my defense a little higher. Now that we were geared up, it was time to go fight our 5th boss, Godfrey, who's going to be a lot harder since he doesn't bleed at all.
How about no, Godfrey? How about no? What?
For the entire fight, my Great Shield Soldier Ashes just had Godfrey pinned up against the entrance door, and I was sneaking in trying to get as many hits off on him as possible without getting hit myself. Easy, too easy,
Hey,
bro.
I'm impressed.
To my surprise, I actually beat him on the first try, which I was not expecting to happen. Using his runes, I put a few more levels into Dexterity and Vigor, and then I went straight on to fighting Morgott. Although Morgott would be a little bit tricky, I could summon Malena, and he could also bleed a lot, so that's going to mean extra damage for us. As to be expected, the first couple times I fought him, I died. I went in for my 3rd attempt, and you might not be able to tell, but at this point in the attic, I had been hunched over my setup like this for over 4 hours. In this gremlin-like stance, my back was on fire, and I didn't really have anything I could lean against either. I was bleeding Morgott left and right at this point, and I had no doubt I was going to be able to kill him. Oh my god, bruh, I thought he was going to jump. No, is he looking at me? Is he looking? Ha 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 ha. Now that Morgott was dead, we had a lot of running around to do. We activated the Grand Lift of Rold, found the 3rd bell bearing in the Zamor ruins, used that bell bearing to upgrade my swords, went and found Seppuku, which would be extremely helpful going forward since we have a bleed build, then duplicated seppuku so I could use it on both of my swords at the same time. Then finally, after all of that, we went to say hello to the fire giant. And everything I just did took me about 50 minutes, so I was hoping I could clutch up and beat the fire giant pretty quickly. I went in, applied seppuku on my first sword, waited for him to jump, and then applied it on my second one. I had to chase him down for a second, but when I got near him, I just started going to town on his ankles. I was getting a lot of damage off, but with one fatal whack, the fight was already over. I, of course, went straight back in, and I don't think I have ever died faster in a fight than this one. Okay. I tried a couple more times, but I quickly realized that if I was going to get one shot every single time I got hit, that this fight just wouldn't be realistic. And since I wasn't able to get to the Mogwin Palace area, I didn't really have a good rune farm. Instead, what I ended up doing is just going to the capital and using a little farm spot there to try and get as many levels as I can and put them straight into Vigor. A half an hour later, we were right back at the same spot, ready to fight the fire giant again. It was going pretty smoothly and we were getting a lot of damage off and not taking very much at all ourselves. Before long, boom, we second phased him and I had my head in the game.
Put that hand down, buddy. What those hands do?
It's exactly 43,000.
Oh my god, there's a bug on my hand, there's a bug on my hand, there's a bug on my hand, I repeat, there's a bug on my hand. Oh my god, it was white. Oh my god, where'd it go? Ew, 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 ew. Oh my god, bro, I was trying to focus on the fire giant and I feel like an itch on my hand. I'm like, bro, what is that? Oh my god, I literally just slapped it on my blanket. Because I was trying to fight the...
Bro, you probably would have killed him.
I probably would. That bug just sabotaged me. That was rude.
Now, if it wasn't for Samantha the sabotaging silverfish, we might have actually beat him that time. But I go right back in and get to the same spot that I was at before. I kind of ended up just chasing him around, doing a little damage here, a little damage there. I was just trying to make sure I didn't get hit so I didn't mess up the fight. I really took my time, and after about 2 minutes, I got to this spot.
Oh my god, I killed him, I killed him, I killed him.
Oh my god, there's a bug behind you.
Besides leveling up and burning the Erd Tree, we didn't have that much to do after the fire giant, so I just went straight to finding the Godskin Duo. This fight was really annoying because for most of it, I was just running around trying to find an opportunity to go in and hit them without taking damage, but I ended up getting hit a lot regardless. Distracting two enemies at the same time while trying to focus on just one proved to be challenging to say the least. And once all my ashes were dead, I was left to try and take them on all by myself.
Yep. At least I mean, like, I'm surviving decently well compared to, like, previous attempts. You know what?
Get him. They trying to whip ya. Dang.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do about it, huh? What you gonna do, huh?
The points are cumulative.
Ooh. Bad move, buddy. Oh. Oh, what? How'd I die?
That fire puts an effect on you.
I was practicing fighting them for about 20 minutes until my game just decided to crash out of nowhere. It just froze on one of the loading screens and I had to close out of the game. Luckily, we didn't lose any progress though, and we were just at our last stopped grace. Now I was trying to come up with a strategy to beat these guys because everything I was doing just wasn't working.
I need to do so much damage to them before my shield guys die. So I need the Godskin Noble not to activate his stupid ability. I think I need them to go on the Godskin Noble. So, here, okay, new strategy. So I need them to go on the Godskin Noble. The Godskin Noble's on this side of the room. So I'm going to spawn my guys
He might have
back
run
left
at you.
side of this room.
Wait, where?
Yeah,
okay,
see,
now he's over there.
closest to
Yeah,
me,
still.
So,
Alright,
ideally...
I'll be right back. I gotta go to the bathroom. Good luck.
Basically what I was trying to do is have them both distracted so that I could go after the Godskin Apostle and kill him so I could get the Godskin Noble by himself. This was actually working extremely well, and with the Godskin Apostle gone, focusing on the Godskin Noble was a lot easier. I was starting to think that this might actually be the attempt where I could beat them.
Oh my god. Oh!
After 5 more painstaking minutes of trying to beat these guys, I finally was able to get them.
No, don't even try it. Oh my god, you really thought you could do it there, didn't you, Mr. Noble? No.
One, there
No,
you
no,
go.
no,
Too good
no.
at the game.
Thank you.
After we took down the Godskin Duo, we had 4 bosses left and about 2 hours and 10 minutes to kill them, so it was looking pretty realistic. We could also upgrade our weapons even further and then went straight into the fight with Maliketh. For the first part of this fight, my Great Shield soldiers were completely ignoring the Beast clergymen and instead trying to attack the tree sentinel on the other side of the door. I was just tangoing with the clergyman and not being able to do any damage. Once he started focusing on my ashes though, I could apply seppuku and then get crazy bleed procs on him.
Oh, I have that.
Mistake. It's Malachi, Luke.
It is Malachi.
Oh no. Okay.
Oh.
So yeah, I was going way too insane from the attic air to actually care about dying to Maliketh this time, but I was ready to keep at it. Or should I say, keep attic. I'm sorry. Based on how much damage my bleed procs were doing alone, this fight definitely felt like it should be over pretty quick. I was just having a hard time staying alive long enough to finish it.
Oh my god. Oh my god, no, heal. No, I drank a flask, but I drank a flask.
Maliketh really thought he was playing with me, but he was underestimating just how good my bleed build was.
Well, that's gonna hit me. Unless I dodge it. Oh no.
Now we have the hardest boss in the game coming up next.
And oh, was he right. We walked into the Capitol's main room right up to Gideon himself. I summoned my ashes immediately and put on seppuku. I quickly go in and try to get as much damage on him as possible. I'm able to get him pretty low, but he escapes and starts annihilating my soldiers. He heals half of his health, starts going crazy and spamming as many spells as he can get out. Finally, I'm able to sneak my way in there and no way! Oh my god, we killed Gideon on the first try. That's crazy. Also, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I don't really know where I got this mask from. I just found it in my inventory and put it on because it gives me extra dexterity. We also ended up using Gideon's chest piece, which actually looks pretty cool on our character. We went to the round table to upgrade our weapons for the final time, and then got to work on Godfrey with an hour and 42 minutes remaining. I was starting to get pretty anxious since I only had an hour and a half to beat the 2 final bosses in the game. If I couldn't do this, I would be not only letting down myself, but letting down everyone watching this video.
Pity to be oh so shitty. Oh, you should have.
Yeah,
Should have done that before.
It's okay. I wasn't planning to beat it the first try. So.
He has so much health. Like, you just bled him and like... Damn.
I just don't want him to do. I want to see if.
I wanted to...
That's the
Oh,
attack I
right
wanted
on.
to avoid.
Dang.
Yeah, this is these attacks is what I want to avoid. I want to try and get him before I had to deal with this shit.
He doesn't even do that in Horaloo.
Yeah, I know. Well, he does do it. It's just.
Oh my god, I hate that. Like...
Oh my god!
Oh my god, you are so good at the game.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
I was so excited to see that we beat Godfrey on our first try. That saved us so much time and gave us a few very needed extra levels before fighting the Elden Beast. I was getting pumped before this fight, and I had an hour and 36 minutes left to try and beat this guy. I go in to take our first shot at Radahn. I start by summoning my ashes and dodging his first lightning bolt. I use the good old let my soldiers distract him while I come in every once in a while and try to get some good hits off. One issue with Radahn is he doesn't bleed. I had to win this fight off of raw damage alone. And I was trying my best not to get hit, but with his many AoE attacks, I was finding it very difficult. He was just doing consistent damage to my soldiers, and it didn't take long for him to kill every single one of them. Then, I was on my own again.
Like, look, all my guys are dead. Now I gotta deal with him with this much health just by myself. When he's doing shit like this. Like, stop! Of course, you just roll over and do it again for some reason. It's like, when do I even get damage in, bruh? Without you hitting me.
I tried to dodge him, but admittedly, I didn't know his moves very well, so I did end up dying the first time. The second time, I was able to get him really low, but I still couldn't get him past this first phase.
He just doesn't stop attacking you. There's no I don't know where there's one point you can get an attack in without you taking damage yourself.
I quickly realized that I was gonna have to do a good chunk of his health by myself without my ashes, so I started just watching him and trying to study his attacks so I could dodge them successfully.
Okay. Wait, I'm figuring him out, dude.
Reading his movement. Oh.
No, I did the thing, yep.
He did end up killing me, but I could already feel myself getting a little bit better, and the next time I went in, I could see improvement as well.
Oh my god. What? That's how that works?
Yeah, I literally just had the same revelation.
Is that actually how you're supposed to dodge it?
I mean, I guess because if he takes him a really long time to charge down and up.
Oh yeah. Okay, watch. He needs to hit me first. Stop playing games with me,
Oh my god.
Okay. That one he doesn't really do anything. Can't get a hit there. Okay, here. No, okay, can't get a hit there.
God.
Can't get a hit there. That's good to know. Just gonna jump away from him there. I know I can kind of get a hit on him, but I don't know how to dodge it. Okay, I can dodge that. Okay, I should be able to dodge this theoretically.
As you can see, this time I was learning and doing a lot better dodging his attacks. I could actually get damage off on him without taking so much damage myself. And this was the first time that I was able to actually kill Radahn and get to the second Elden Beast phase.
Yeah, that's actually pretty good.
Thank you. I don't have any flasks, I have this one.
That's all you need.
That's all I need.
Since this was my first time getting to the Elden Beast, I didn't really expect to kill him. I just wanted to do the same thing I was doing with Radahn and get as much damage off on him as possible while also learning his attacks.
What's he doing? What's he doing? What's he doing? What's he doing? He doesn't do that normally.
Oh my god.
He doesn't normally do that as the first one. He usually swims away.
Yeah, you're right, yeah.
Obviously, that didn't last very long. And by this time, it was about 4 in the morning, and it was time for us to say goodbye to Luke.
Alright, Andy. I fully believe in you. Just like, you're doing good. And you've done a lot.
Thank you very much.
Good luck.
Thanks.
After dying to Radahn one more time, I was kind of fed up. I was tired, my back hurt, I was hungry, I was denying the fact that I had to pee. I wanted to come down from the attic so much, and if Radahn was the only thing standing between me and the rest of the house, then I was prepared to fight for my freedom.
my god! Luke! Oh my goodness, I did it! Oh my god, I did it! Oh my god, I did it!
And there you have it. I just went on for the next 4 minutes talking to myself about how happy I was that I was able to beat Elden Ring in my attic from start to finish overnight without coming down once and with the lights off. When I did finally come down from my attic, I found this massive bug just sitting right below the door. As soon as I got down, I went straight to my bed and I could sleep well that night, knowing the answer to my question,